Hi, I think we're live. There is sometimes a bit of a delay, so I'm hoping we're live. We've got someone in the house. Say hi. Let me know where you're watching from. It's nice to have you with me. Hopefully, I'm not freezing too much. There aren't too many problems with stream. Let me know if the sound is okay. It's the first time I've gone live from the studio, which is really exciting. Um, I'm hoping we're going to have a few people join, um, just so that we can get a bit of chat backwards and forwards. Hey, Temp, how are you doing, my love? You're taking a break from studying. Poor Temp, in the final season, so lots and lots of work to be done there. Oh, I'm sorry you can't be here for long, but I am really glad you are here. Thank you so much. I don't know how to bring chats up on the screen. I have no idea what I'm doing, Temp. I need a lesson. I need a tutorial when you've got enough time. um, I wanted to talk about the YouTube changes because I actually think there's a lot we can learn from it, which sounds really weird. But they've changed their monetization policy, which is really quite exciting. Um, uh, No, I'm actually using the YouTube Studio to stream Temp. Um, I thought I would give this a go. Um, don't know about the settings. Maybe this is a conversation for when I'm not live. Maybe I should have done my research, really. Who knows? Um, I am not a pro. This is not polished in any way, shape, or form. Yeah, no. Um, so I wanted to talk about the YouTube changes. They announced today that for small streamers, um, you no longer need the 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours of watch time to get monetized. They've put like a mini step. Um, so if you have 500 subscribers and 3,000 hours worth of watch time and 3 valid public videos in the last 90 days, you can qualify for the partnership program. But it's only parts of it. So it's not ad revenue, but it is super chats and super stickers and super thanks, the little tip button that you get, which is really nice. It is really nice. They sent out a questionnaire recently asking people what they thought of the monetization policy, and actually they listened. YouTube are actually really good for all of the ribbing that they get over glitches and other things, and the things that people blame them for that really isn't YouTube at all. This is actually really nice that they've listened to small streamers and small channels, and really these changes are to get people streaming. My thoughts are they're trying to compete with Twitch, which is fair enough. But also, this gives them a huge boost in revenue, given the percentage that they take from all of the ways to donate to your favorite channel via YouTube. They take between 30 and 45% of all of the money that is donated through YouTube. So when you send a super chat for $1, your creator is only getting 55 cents. And that's before conversion rates, if they're not in the same country as you, using the same currency, and before Stripe take their cut. And I can't remember what their cut is. So in reality, your streamer is probably only getting about 40 cents per dollar that you put through. So it's going to boost YouTube's revenue hugely. It is good news that small creators can get a little bit of extra cash, which when you're starting out, and I feel this hard, Any money is good money. I don't mind YouTube taking their cut. It's a big cut, but it's their platform. They give us that platform for free as users and as creators. So that's the positive side of things. The life lesson that we can learn from this is about feedback. Um, YouTube have obviously listened. They've been listening for a long time, and with all of the research that I've done, if you've watched any of my other videos, I've referred to this because there is so much to learn. It just such a complex system to learn, and there are so many quote unquote experts out there. Sorry, I'm fiddling with my hair because I don't even know what's going on. It's been hot today. That's my that's my excuse. So where was I? Help me out here, folks. Yeah, I spend hours every day watching other YouTube channels, seeing what they do, what I can change, what I can adopt. I spend hours watching these experts, and some of them I really don't put any stock in. Thank you very much, Temp. Temp says I look fine, and I'm a bit nervous, but it's understandable. I am a bit nervous. I am a socially anxious person, to say the least. So something like this is, um, yeah. So some of the experts I don't put a lot of stock in. They repeat the same tropes, and some of them have been debunked by YouTube. So you got to be careful who you listen to. But I spent hours, literally hours, going through this stuff, and the work that you put in is immense. When you want to really reach people and build a community, you put in a lot of work. Um, so in all of that time, the amount of times that I have seen YouTube respond to comments in their videos, they do a news day on a Tuesday, create a news, and they kind of talk about feedback that they've had and how they've listened and how they've implemented it. They've changed the way that you find videos now. Likes basically mean nothing to anyone other than the creator. Now, I'm not going to do like a video. If someone has done a great job, like that video, because it sends feedback to the creator, and we all like feedback. Every thumbs up is a hug. But they listen and they work out what's viable and what's not. And they talk about what they are working on behind the scenes, what they're going to do next. And I think we can all take a lesson from that. When someone gives us feedback, sometimes people can be a bit blunt, especially online, or it comes across as blunt and it's not meant that way. And we also read things with our own context. So if we read something, we're in a bad mood, we're going to read it in a bad mood kind of tone of voice, and we're all guilty of that. And the written word can be really tricky. We don't know what someone's inflection is, we don't know what they're thinking, and it can be misconstrued. So when we get feedback, it can hit us hard, especially if we're not in the place to really take it on board. But feedback is amazing because it helps us grow. It's about learning. And some of that learning is, okay, someone's come to me and said, I look a little bit nervous. Well, I know that I need to practice. I know I need to get more involved in streaming and get more comfortable with being in front of the camera. And it's really weird because I'm looking at myself in two places. I don't like looking in a mirror. let alone having cameras pointed at me. It's very odd. Um, so, I know I have to work on that. That to me is really positive, f you know, feedback. And I know it comes from a place of love, and that means the world to me. Um, and that's the same with any feedback that I get on my videos. It's not a criticism, even when it's really rough. I have had some people hurl some pretty intense um, uh, tropes at me, I guess. Um, and really looking at it, some of those negative comments say more about the other person than it does about us. And that's quite interesting from a psychology point of view. But, quick slap. Oh, helps if my straw's out. It's not like I'm live on YouTube or anything, and that's not embarrassing. Um, you know, when someone says something that maybe we're not comfortable with, um, it's worth taking a step back and saying to ourselves, okay, how valid is that? Is that if that was worded differently, would it be valid? Oh, you are such a nice guy. You are such a nice guy. Thank you. It's just you and me. No one else here. Um, when when someone has phrased it badly, what I tend to do is rewrite it in my mind and look at it and kind of go, if this was worded nicely, would this be valid? Is this feedback or is this someone's opinion? And there's a fine line between the two, but there is a line, and I think it's worth assessing that. It's worth looking at that and kind of going, okay, you know, is this just one person's opinion or is this valid feedback? And that's what YouTube have done here. They've had this feedback from enough people to pay attention to it. So they've sent out this survey. And part of that survey was about monetization. And my response to it was, it has to be hard to get there because otherwise everyone is monetized, and that means like AdSense is a shared pool, so all of the money from advertisers goes into a pool. YouTube takes their cut and the rest is then divided between, excuse me, all of the YouTubers that are monetized. The more people that are monetized, the less money there is to go around, so it's got to be hard, but it could be just a little easier. And they've listened to that, and obviously I'm not the only person, because they've updated this policy to give us that little step. That little step. They've also opened up memberships at that level too. So 500 subscribers and 3,000 watched hours, you can open up memberships. So if you have a really good, dedicated community that watch all of your videos, that is really great for you. And you can opt in or opt out, so that's good. But it's about listening to that feedback and kind of going, okay, how do we make this work? It's, how do we make this work for creators and for us? And sometimes with feedback, you have to look at that and say, okay, well, how do I make this work? Is this something I want to change about myself? Or is this, something that I can find a compromise to that is going to work for me and the other person, or me and, in this instance, you and me, temp, or whoever else is watching. Sorry, I'm just checking your. Yeah, so Temp's raised a kind of a good point here, is also assessing whether it's in bad faith. Because there are some people that are just, especially on social media and YouTube, there are some people that are just out to make your day bad. And again, I wish you well. Yes, absolutely. I don't wish anyone harm. ever. I don't hold grudges. I don't have regrets. I'm just not that kind of person. There are things that get to me for a little while, and maybe they might, kick off the PTSD or anxiety. But that's a me problem. And the fact that there's someone out there who is desperately in need of a hug if this is how they spend their time. I did a video, I did a video to test this a little while ago. Holy cow! There were some vicious comments. Vicious comments. Um, and they were exactly I did it to see whether I had confirmation bias. And turns out, no, I didn't, because every negative comment was from exactly the kind of person I expected it to be from. It was horrible. I am never subjecting myself to that again. And I've had people commenting on videos. I did a video on E.G. and Carol, and there were a lot of I hope are good faith questions about why she didn't report, why she didn't scream or anything else like that, why she just closed her eyes and quote unquote let it happen. Um, and I had someone who they clicked on my video and just commented, sometimes women lie, or women lie, that's a fact, or something like that. And I looked at my analytics, and he literally he came from Google, didn't watch any of the video, just commented. Like, this is someone who has an axe to grind and is choosing this moment as a way of validating his experience. And at some point, this guy has been badly hurt by a woman in his life. Whether that's perceived or actual, and is taking it out on anyone who has an opinion about, someone doing something terrible to someone else. Uh, yeah, reflection and self-assessment. Um, and, deciding for yourself if you actually want to adapt, if you want to change. There are many things about me. I was told that I cared too much, and it was a genuine flaw at one point. And it took me a while to come to the realization that actually, no, I don't want to change. If someone is going to abuse that kindness, it says more about them than it does about me. It says more about their trauma. And I would rather go out of my way to try and help people than become insular and cold, because I think we've got too there are too many people in the world who have become insular and cold and tribal. Um, and it's less about love and compassion than it is about being right. And my opinion is that that is what is damaging, in our politics, in our society, in our relationships. That's my personal opinion. Um, uh, Trying to work out how to get this. I would love to be able to put you up on the screen. I can put you in a timeout. I don't want to do that. Um, Genuinely, it's gonna drive me round the bend. Um, yeah, feedback can get to anyone, and yet taking that 5-minute step back temp and gathering yourself, you know, yeah, when people insult, when people go after each other for feedback, whether they're giving or receiving, I think, you know, it's not a good look, if nothing if nothing else. Um, the it feels like it's drama for drama's sake. If you don't like a video, if you don't like a situation, don't watch it. Don't watch it. And as a YouTuber, don't delete comments unless they're wildly inappropriate for your channel, for YouTube, for wherever. You know, I tend not to delete comments. I respond to them all respectfully, even when they haven't been as kind. Um, because ultimately, you know, I start off from a place of I'm assuming you are answering in good faith. I have had someone try to troll me and accuse me of spreading lies and rumors. You know, I have no idea who this person was. I had never seen this person in any streams or anything else like that. So, you know, I responded in good faith, and they deleted all of their comments. And I tend to, you know, accidentally kill things with kindness. Um, uh, 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 uh. Yeah, I mean, Tam, if you go around, if you're actively going on social media or YouTube, or you're Googling things so that you can attack people on a subject, you've already lost the debate. You know. Yeah, I've got the chat on live. Am I not seeing someone? Yeah, it's definitely on live. Um, mm, mm, mm. If you want to be put on a timeout, I can. I can apparently wield that power. Honestly, it makes me really uncomfortable to wield that power. I need some mods because not that anyone's watching other than you and you and me, Temp, but I don't feel comfortable putting people in a timeout. One of those people that I can't block others. I very rarely block people. It makes me very uncomfortable to do that. Um, uh, but that's the thing. Imagine someone bothering to take the time out of their day to watch someone random on the internet and write bad faith wording to be hurtful without caring. Sad, really. Get a job. Yes. Yes. I mean, I looked at that comment and all I could think is, yeah, you've been really hurt, and you know, it's none of my business and I don't need you to share it. You know, I don't need you to share your pain. I just responded and said, yeah, you're right. I mentioned in the video that false allegations do happen and they're as bad, um, because that can ruin lives. I've seen people make false allegations and try and ruin lives before. Um, and it's a terrible, terrible thing to do. But I then asked this chap if he had learned anything from the rest of the video, and strangely, I didn't hear back from him. Because I would have been interested. I would have been really interested in him telling me if he had gotten anything else out of the video, because it's people like that that I would love to reach with that subject matter. Because it's, what I do is about supporting people who have been there or are going through it, but also educating someone who is open to the idea of something outside of themselves. But unfortunately, a lot of people like that don't want to learn. They want to have their opinion and then leave. And they certainly don't want to hear it from someone who looks like me. Um, uh, do, do, do. Oh, thank you. Thank you for saying I'm awesome. I really appreciate that, Temp. You're better. You are absolutely 100% better. Three dots above the chat and press pop out chat. Ooh, I like learning things. Oh, well, that is clever. That is really clever. Ooh, This is very cool. Um, Thank you very much. Um, uh, yeah, strangely, he wasn't there to learn, watch, grow, challenge his bias. Yeah, I mean, it seems to me that he was taking that moment because the story was in the news to go on the attack. And that's really sad. That is really, really sad. If you hold control and the mouse wheel, you get zoom. Ah, control and the mouse wheel. Oh, thank you very much. It's because I wear bifocals. I feel like and I never thought I'd be a bifocal person, but because I wear bifocals, my laptop screen is just far enough away to not work with the bifocals, but be a bit blurry with my distance vision. You are amazing. Thank you so much. I am so glad you're here for so many reasons. Oh dear. Yeah. Look, look. I can't see. It's too far away. Um, uh, how many other people out there with small channels on YouTube is he hoping? Oh, and being mean about. Yeah. So, it does make me wonder. Um, Kind of who else he's doing this to and the damage that he could be doing to someone who I'm very anxious and I get very worried about other people's opinion. I really want to please people, but I'm also savvy enough to know that i'm you know I'm not going to please everyone all of the time. And, just because my childhood trauma makes me a people pleaser doesn't mean I'm ever going to be able to please people. Um, and also I'm grown up enough to know that some people are just being jerks. Um, but, you know, eh, what if he goes to someone who is less worldly wise, someone who maybe is a bit more fragile at that point in their life, um, and realizes that he can poke the bear and cause damage. And there are plenty of people out there that are quite happy to tear someone down. um you know and that's it is really sad. And I've spoken about this in other videos as well, that you can't change someone else's behavior, you can only change your own. um and when someone acts that way, you know there is literally no argument you can make that is going to make them happy. They're either not going to listen to it, or they're just going to yell you down and tell you you're wrong over and over again until you give up, and then they're going to class that as a win. And that's there are some people that you cannot debate with. Now, we don't all have to agree. We can all come to something with a difference of opinion. And as long as it is debated respectfully, and we are listening to hear, not listening to reply, then we can come to a point where we can kind of go, okay, I see your point of view. I don't agree with it, but I see it. Or, okay, you've won me over. Debate is the biggest learning tool, or one of the biggest learning tools. And there are some people that you just can't have that kind of connection with. Um, and I would rather have a good spirited debate with someone I completely disagree with than an argument that's caused by some guy like that, or some person like that, who is just out to ruin someone's day. Yeah, if someone comes into something with, in bad faith, they are just coming into it in bad faith. There is nothing that you can do to change that. And there are some people that may not start with bad faith, but suddenly turn. And you end up with, a situation that you can't win. If you argue back, then they are going to make you look unreasonable, whether you are or not. And if you walk away, they've won. You know, they will find any way. And this is, this is ego. This is arrogance. This is narcissism for some people, not necessarily diagnosed narcissism, but we all have potential for those traits. um no, I mean, in their mind, they've won, but in reality, the person who is big enough to say, look, this isn't going anywhere and it's just unhealthy, and walks away, is actually the person that has taken the high road, and been the adult about the situation. Um, uh, you can even prevent what? Sorry, temp. Um, you know, in reality, and it's like a breakup. The person who is screaming the loudest is usually the person that knows they could have done more. The person walking away is the person kind of going, I'm out. I don't want the drama. I just want to move on quietly. Um, oh yeah, no, I mean, for some people, they will poke and poke and poke until you engage. Um, and they'll keep going. For some people, it is about the attention. Um, uh, 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 uh. Oh, yeah. If they poke you, block. Yeah, I mean, sometimes that is the answer, and there isn't a shame in it. I find it really difficult. I'm gonna be honest. That is one of the things I find really difficult. Um, you know, I don't like making people unhappy. Hello, childhood trauma. But yeah, if someone is willing to say or do anything to get your attention and get you to engage, only to, push you down again, uh, that person really needs to get therapy, talk to a friend, work out what's going on. Um, Yeah, I mean, can you imagine someone on the street coming at you and not letting go, and you're like, "Leave me alone, I'm not interested." Yeah, and that's what it is, especially with, keyboard warriors, people who have that anonymity. This isn't feedback. This is, "I'm gonna go after you because you don't know who I am." There's a big cowardice in it, in that kind of toxic, abusive, situation. It is, it is bullying, but for sometimes. So my friend Pablo, Morbid Blackstar, his situation went from, this wasn't just, and I'm not saying cyberbullying is just, it's not, it's really serious, but these were, death threats, and, all sorts of other things, um, over a false allegation. Um, and, without all of the facts. Um, and they got away with it. Most of these people got away with it because they were anonymous. That these people start an account, a fresh account, to attack someone. And then when they feel like they're getting in trouble, will delete the account and move on. And there's very little that anyone can do about it. Here in England, we have really strict laws. Sorry, I'm trying to get comfortable. We have really strict laws about online behavior. And that kind of thing can land you in prison. In the States, and just like stalking and other things, we have really strict laws over. Um, but in the States, there's nothing anyone can do until you're actually in danger. in most states, and that's terrifying. And we've seen this with, you know, Johnny Depp and Amber Heard, and the fandom, the absolute screaming rhetoric that, you know, has come out of that. That's not feedback when you disagree with a YouTuber or a news story. That's doxing people and calling child services and, you know, getting people swatted. And it, you know, it's absolutely just unreal to me that people can see that as normal behavior, see that as somehow justified, you know. Trying to have someone unalived by the police is somehow justified because you don't like their take on the legal aspects of a case. Like, you say it like that and you're like, "How? How is this normal behavior? How is this in any way socially acceptable?" Um, you know, um you just say, "At this point, the discussion is over. We have nothing to debate. You're clearly coming from a bad faith." Yeah. Um, yeah, I mean, I've done that. A kind of there is no answer I can give you right now that is going to be satisfactory. There is no way to have this conversation, this debate, this whatever. Um, and I'm done. If you change your mind and you want to talk about this in good faith, I'm here. And 9 times out of 10 they don't. Um Yes. Yes, our company laws and everything else are definitely worth registering the company here. By the way, for anyone watching on the replay or anyone lurking, go and check out Reality Review here on YouTube. I'm gonna see if I can find your link temp. Well worth checking out. And while we're talking about, you know, going back to YouTube and to monetization, and everything else, please go and support your favorite small YouTubers. Anyone under 500 subscribers or just over 500 subscribers, please make sure you subscribe to them, get them to that magical goal so that they can decide for themselves if they want to set up super chats and other things. Why can I not find your channel? Excuse me again. That water is not sitting well. Come on, buddy, it's only water. Why can't I find your channel? Why can't I find your channel? Sorry, I'm trying to. No, I am going to. I was going to mention some of the channels, the smaller channels that I follow that I really love. You know, I love uh, like the ethos of these channels. You know, we all have different belief systems. We all have different backgrounds and points of view, but it all comes from a place of learning and love, which I adore. I really do adore. Why can I never? Whenever I type it in, it comes up straight away. I get on a live stream and it just disappears. It's like YouTube's like, "Maha, let's make you look stupid." Alongside, you know, me trying to drink without the straw out on my cup. Let's try and do it this way. If you're chatting away, Temp, I can't see you because I am in a different window. Sorry, I will work this out. I will. Um, I'm going through my list. Really should clear out my list, if I'm honest. I've got some stuff on here that I don't watch anymore. Um, see, this now makes it look like you're not on my list. This now looks like, oh. Right, let's do. Oh, for goodness sake. So let's, I'm going to add, so this is PC Tech Radio, who is, again, another amazing part of our community. He's a lovely, lovely guy, and he is building computers from kind of reclaimed parts. So he is making amazing computers, streaming computers, and all sorts of other stuff from old parts that make it a lot cheaper, which is absolutely fantastic. And he's a really lovely guy. And then we've got paste. We have Reality Review there, which is Temp and the chap behind PC Tech Radio, as well as Zayden and Gina, and I think Yvonne and Steve, and a bunch of other people doing D&D, which is just going to be hilarious. And Temp will be doing chats like this, basically panel shows, discussing the topics of the day. And again, having that good faith discussion, that good faith debate, giving feedback and talking about the things that are on our minds. Yeah, exactly. So PC Tech Radio is helping people with a really small budget get into big streaming, being able to rival some of the big channels. Because not everyone can afford $7,000 on a brand new streaming setup. Whereas being able to do it for 500 quid and less is amazing. And this is what I'm saying with the monetization thing. If you want to support small streamers, the best way to do that is get them to that 500 subs. Share the work, share things that you love. Don't just sub to everyone and not watch their videos. Help them, sub, yes, but watch the videos, watch them all the way through to get them to that 3,000 hours of watch time. And all of that other stuff. Like their videos if you actually like them, share them if you actually like them. A solid, committed, loyal audience, whether that's 10 people or 10,000 people, is far better than 1,000 subscribers who never watch your stuff. So the 3K, so you still need to get to 4K to get AdSense, the ad revenue. So they've put a tier in between nothing, between nothing and getting monetized. So what you've got is this step in the middle now, where if you have 500 subscribers, 3,000 watched hours, and at least 3 videos in the last 3 months that are publicly available and within their terms of service, then you qualify for super chats, super stickers, super thanks, and you can start a membership option at that point. In order to get AdSense, where you get a share of that ad revenue, you still need to get to the 4,000. So it makes it much more viable for you, for Zayden, for PC Tech Radio to get there. Oh, that's a point. Let's put Gina on there. I forgot. I'm so sorry, Gina. If you watch this, I am so sorry. I'm trying to learn and talk at the same time. There are many things that I can multitask with, but this is not one of them, apparently. So this is the lovely Gina. She talks about her health conditions and how she gets through things. Day in the life kind of stuff, the struggles that she had. She did a really good live a couple of months ago, I think, where she was talking about that she was on her scooter, disabled parking right outside of I think it was a doctor's surgery or pharmacy that she was going in, but the ramp to get off the pavement, the sidewalk, was all the way at the end of the parade of shops. So she had to go all the way up, down the ramp, and then through the car park to get to her car. And it's things like that that, you know, we all need to know about. And for those of us who struggle with mobility, it's really nice to be able to share that with someone who knows, someone who gets it. So sorry, I am just catching up. Gina is wonderful. Lots of hearts for Gina, lots of hearts for Zayden, lots of hearts for you and Dave as well. It's really hard. So Temp has said here, you know, streams are really good for as a stepping stone to practice and learn to be on the stream and reading the chat. It's really hard to be present on the stream and read the chat at the same time. And there aren't, you know, there's only one person commenting. I don't know how Zayden does it with his gaming nights, 'cause that chat flies. You know, I don't know how some of the bigger streamers do it. I really, really don't. Um, yeah, now try modding a live debate and on Zoom and chats. Yeah, I am not ready. I am a rookie. I am in my rookie season, and I am okay with that. I have so much more to learn, and I am okay with that as well. This is a journey. You know, this whole YouTube thing and learning about it and building a community is a journey. And I'm okay most of the time. I'm not going to lie. Most of the time, I'm okay with it just taking a bit of time because it gives me time to learn. Sometimes it gets me down. Not going to lie, because you put a lot of work in. You know, when someone comments and goes, "Get a real job," um, this is a real job. Believe me, I put in more hours than I would in, you know, a standard office job by a long way. And I'm doing that while I'm parenting a little one during the day and cooking dinner and cleaning and, you know, all the rest of it. I spend my whole day on YouTube learning. Thank goodness for the University of YouTube. Um, uh, yeah, your channel has always been a stepping stone for a lot of people. It's really good training. And whenever I talk to you about live streaming, I learn so much. Um, uh, 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 Take your time. No one does it right the first time. No, to be honest with you, I know people that have been streaming for years that, you know, miss things, mess up, misspeak, whatever it is. And I think as long as you have an amazing audience like you guys, an amazing community like you guys, you know, everyone understands that we're all human, no one's perfect. Um, Lives are easier than a pre-made video. Do you really think so? I'm not sure. And I think some of that is the fact that my style is raw. Um, I do it live in one take to or live to camera in one take. I don't like editing and polishing things too much because I talk about mental health, because I talk about some pretty raw subjects at times. I feel like I need to be who I actually am. I need to show some emotion, and let myself get upset sometimes or let myself get angry, because it is the only way to be genuine in these moments. It's the only way that you all are going to get to know me, and it's the only way we're going to build up trust. So for me, recording to a camera is a little bit easier. It's certainly easier to pretend that I'm talking to a friend, just one friend having a chat, than it is with the live, because I'm very conscious, like up in my the left hand side of my screen. So kind of, where's the camera? Here. There's a counter. It says in red, it goes live. It's got a counter. And the other intimidating thing is it tells you how many people are watching and how many thumbs up you've got. And as a small streamer, looking at that and going, "Oh, I've only got 2 people watching." Do you know what? Actually, 2 people watching is it equals my record. So I'm actually okay with that. But for some people and for me, it can be a little bit sad. Um, uh, yeah, mistakes happen. Mistakes happen. And actually, recording videos has made me very aware of um, the lasting effects of a stroke I had at birth. It's never really been something that's bothered me. Um, but listening, I record a video and then I listen to it and I watch my facial features, because there are times when I pull really funny faces. Like, what are you doing with your face? What do you look like? And I wasn't aware that I pulled funny faces. But also, I'm very aware of one side of my face doesn't move the same as the other. And I misspeak a lot more than I thought I did. I miss out words in sentences, and no one has ever told me. No one has ever told me. Or I use the wrong word, like form instead of from. I've done a few times and no one had ever told me. And I love the fact that no one has ever, either people don't pick up on it or they've picked up on it and just taken it as a weird quirk of mine that isn't annoying enough to, want to tell me about it. And when I noticed it, I expected to get some feedback on it. I really, really did. And there are some YouTubers, there's a new trick within YouTube where people deliberately misspeak. They'll deliberately use the wrong word so that they get engagement and people commenting. And when I read and watched videos about that, I was like, no one has ever commented on the fact that my face is wonky or that I misspeak. No one. Um, and um, it's really weird. It's really, really weird. Um, uh, 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 what is this if not you and one friend having a chat? Exactly, exactly. Because you're the only person commenting. It is just like we're having a chat over Messenger. um, yeah, every chat you have with another person is live. Yes, you are absolutely right. And that outer wisdom is something that I'm going to ruminate on. Um, uh, yeah, I mean, me misspeaking and that kind of thing probably isn't that noticeable. Because actually, much like reading, most of reading is the shape of the word and the beginning letter and the end letter. Um, we're not necessarily taking in the whole word. And I think with face-to-face conversation like this, you're concentrating on um, other things. You're concentrating on the content, not necessarily the exact words that are being said. So maybe that is it. But if anyone has noticed, never been mentioned. And actually that's really nice. I'm very aware of it, mainly because it's a new thing to be aware of. Um, uh, 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 uh. You didn't notice at all? Um, um, yeah, I mean, obviously it isn't that noticeable. I think because I'm deliberately self-critiquing when I'm on video, when I'm watching myself, the amount of times that I go, that was a really good take. That's the one. And I sit down and watch myself and listen. I'm like, wow, you are not making any sense. You are rambling. And I ramble because I am really passionate. Like, I am so excitable about the topic that I'm talking about. Um, and again, like this topic, we've managed to talk for 56 minutes about feedback. And hopefully not in a really boring way. You're still here. So either you really like me as a friend, or actually this is an interesting conversation. Um, yeah, top half of the letters. So, fun fact, not only the first and last letter in English, it is just the top half of the letters. Yeah, our brains are amazing. It's so clever how our brains can extrapolate. The problem is, for someone like me or someone who's dyslexic, that there's a disconnect there. So I have brain damage from said stroke. And it isn't severe. It's incredibly mild, but it has caused me problems with reading and kind of learning through the written word. Um, and words get jumbled up, and I can read a sentence 4 or 5 times and it still just be gobbledygook because it's not being translated. And I have problems with my hearing. My hearing is pretty much okay, but what is going in isn't what my brain is interpreting it as. So kind of, last letter, first letter, and only the top half. Um, the fact that other people's brains can decipher that is amazing to me. That is incredible. Oh, wow. Some genius created letters where the top is English and the bottom is Hebrew. That's incredible. That's either someone with far too much time on their hands or someone who really has a passion for language. That's amazing. I love learning weird facts like that. Um, you know, because our brains look for patterns, don't they? That's really clever. That's really, really clever. I have a friend who has a tattoo on her arm, and if you read it one way up, it says her female child's name, and if you read it from the other way up, it reads her son's name. Um, I don't know why I phrased it that way. Her female child, she calls them the pink and the blue one. But yeah, the tattoo reads one name one way up and one name the other way up. And I thought that was genius. She designed that, and it blew my tiny little mind. Um, oh, so you can have words written and read in both Hebrew and English instead of having to translate. That's incredible. That is really, really clever. So is that for learning Hebrew, or learning to read the Torah maybe? because that is a big part of uh, coming of age, isn't it? And bar mitzvah. I think I have that right. It's a big part of early life. So you don't have to learn. Oh, clever. Very, very clever. That's amazing. Like, whoever came up with that really is a genius. I love it's so creative how that person's brain worked to have that idea. I seriously, wow. That's very, very clever. That is very, very clever. Um, yeah, so going back to small channels, people like Zayden and Gina and PC Tech Radio and Reality Review. If you're watching this on the replay, have a think, or watching it live, have a think about the small channels that you follow, or channels of friends or whoever else. Share their work, get involved, help them get to that point where they can make that decision and work out if it's worth them going for monetization early, and leave feedback. If it's not so positive, do it in a good faith way. You know, I welcome feedback. I reply to it. I reply to people's thoughts on subject matters because I think it's important for me to keep learning about the subject, but keep learning about you. But also, you know, if you're going to do that in good faith, then the person on the receiving end is really going to appreciate that, because we are all on a learning journey. Not a single one of us is perfect. Not, as we've said, not a single one of us is a finished project. We are all a work in progress. And I appreciate anyone who takes time to comment, or like, or share, or get involved in any way, because each one of those is a learning opportunity, and each one of those is a hug to me. You've taken the time out to say something to me, and I love that. Also, have a big need to please and need to know I'm doing a good job. I am very insecure. So, you know, stuff like that really helps keep me going. And it's about helping people like me, other small streamers, really move forward. You know, if we can help someone like Gina, who is dealing with so many health problems and medical bills and all of those phone calls and everything else, if we can get her to 500 subscribers, where when she does a live, people can leave a, a super thanks, can leave a super sticker, can leave words of encouragement through a super chat, that makes a huge amount of difference to help her in her recovery when she has an episode, or, you know, keep her channel running. You know, PayPal is better. This was another point I was going to make, is actually, you know, if you want your comment up on the screen, if you want it to pop up, great, use those features. But if you want more bang for your buck, if you want that creator to have the most out of your money, send it direct to them. Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, tips on something like Linktree, or, you know, I have most of the, I've got PayPal, Linktree tips. I also have my coffee shop, where you can give a one-off donation, or I do a monthly subscription, which is set for £3 a month, which is basically buying me a really cheap coffee these days. And it doesn't buy me coffee, it actually goes to running costs. But it's, you know, such a big boost. And PayPal take far less in fees. It's 3.4% plus 20p. So, you know, the worst that they're going to lose for every dollar is 24 cents, which makes a really big difference. So yeah, and also bear in mind, conversion rates. So YouTube take their cut before conversion rates. So if there's a conversion rate, if you're sending me dollars, for instance, I get spanked for all the fees and the conversion rate. So PayPal and other things are far better if you want that money to go further. And when I donate to people, that's the way I prefer to do it, because I want them to get as much money as possible. So yeah, but you can, for the sake of ease, because a lot of people don't want to move away from the stream and miss bits to go to another third-party website. A lot of people use the in YouTube stuff because you can do that while still listening to the stream. So I do understand it's personal preference, but it is a faff either way. And also, there is an argument to be made for, if other people are more likely to send a super chat if they see someone else do it. It's kind of leader of the pack. So there's arguments either way, but it's, my preference would be something like the Coffee account. Coffee don't take any fees. I pay a monthly subscription to them, and then they don't take any fees from any money that comes through, and it goes through PayPal. And you can do that with or without a PayPal account, just the same as PayPal. You don't need a PayPal account to be able to send donations. My mind went blank then. A little bit fried. It's really hot in here. We picked the wrong room. I picked the wrong room to turn into our office. I'm not gonna lie. This side of the house faces the east, and we get the vast majority of the sun come through. Come to this side of the house during the day. So it's really hot. I'm sweating cobs, as we say. It's not attractive. I'm so sorry. I've got the window wide open. I'm still sweating cobs. Might just open this up and tip this over me. I don't want to ruin the new carpet that was really expensive. Oh, I should put Hob up. Hob was on the back of the sofa this side, and we had to move him because our youngest didn't want to sit on the sofa while he was there. Hold on, I'm going to get Hob. Should we put him there? Is he gonna? He's a little bit bendy. Hold on. Now he just looks like he's got rickets. Poor thing. Poor Hob. And now he's blocked anyway. Can I really show if I put him on there? Hold on. Does he show? There he is. Looking over my shoulder like a judgmental house elf. He's a what did we call him? Is he a house elf? I think he was a house elf. No, that's not right. Is he a brownie? I can't remember. Yeah, Hob was made by my friend Charlie, who is incredibly talented with kind of making LARP props and other things. We ran a series of events called Folk, which is kind of our take on fairy tales. And we had an event that was about a house. So you had Hearth, who was the heart of the house, and Hob and his team of of pixies and brownies that looked after the house. And at the time, our youngest was really wee. She was really, really tiny, and she was on a vent with me, and she fell in love with him. She absolutely fell in love with him. So at the end of the event, Charlie gave me Hob to bring home, and now she's scared of him. But yeah, sorry. I'm not used to this. It's so weird because what my camera has me the correct way around. Yeah, the correct way around. And my computer screen has me in the flipped image. So I have no idea what you all are seeing, which way around it is. But yeah, that's Hob. He's become my mascot. He's become my kind of my Easter egg, I think. He's in a slightly different position in most of my videos. I move him around more for my entertainment than anything else. But yeah, there we go. Is there anything on anyone's mind today that you want to talk about? I have other notes. Where's my notebook? Lots of mental health things, changing direction, you know, that kind of thing. Obviously, Donald Trump has been arraigned today, which is big old news. Although, you know, it's a controversial subject that's likely to get me doxxed. So yeah, you should get back to studying, Temp. I really appreciate you taking the time out to be with me and keep me company on this stream. I hope you've found it interesting and informative. And, you know, yes, study and sleep. Great minds think alike, Temp. Go study, go sleep. Make sure you eat and hydrate. Please look after yourself. And good luck for everything you've got to get done. Yes, I do always expect real talk and directness from you, and it comes from a place of love, which I always really appreciate. And the same back. But definitely, you know, eat, drink, study, look after yourself, and we will speak to you soon. Good luck. Break a leg. You can do the thing. Honestly, you can. You can kick everything in the butt and do an awesome job. Just know that we're here for you. But please take care of your health, physical and mental. Don't make me fly over there to make you look after yourself. To everyone else, thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for watching. If you're watching the replay, leave me a comment. How do you feel about feedback? How do you take it? And how do you deal with negativity? You know, whether it's bad faith or whether it's someone that maybe hasn't phrased things very well. Let me know in the comments. And yeah, as Temp says, please press the like button because I am desperate for your love. Share this with anyone who may need the encouragement or the discussion about feedback, but also anyone who wants the real side, you know, not just the YouTube creator studio side of the YouTube stuff, who wants a take on the pitfalls and the realities maybe of how the monetization thing is going to work. Do share it with them. Have a look at some of my other work. I'd really appreciate you watching another video. If anything pops up that is interesting to you, I'm going to ask YouTube to put up a video, probably maybe this side, maybe this side. I don't know, because I can't work out which view you're seeing. But I'll get YouTube to put up a video that is best suited to you and you're watching preferences. Um, and hopefully we'll do this again soon. Thank you so much for being here. Take care. Bye.